Hi, welcome to Box on the Box Rock and Celluloid, Bot for short. I'm Member Box, just fix those glasses. And I've got just a box watch for you today, which is just recommending stuff I've recently viewed on TV, film, documentaries, and so on. So just start with TV. A lot of people will have seen this Andor on Disney. I thought this was decent. I like the first series of Andor, I like the second. The problem is these are too long, they're 12 episodes long, and they should be 8. They spend a lot of time doing the slow burn thing, but I just don't think it totally pays off. But I do think they're better examples of the Star Wars TV universe. Not that that's a high margin these days. The Bear Series 4, I was a bit disappointed with this. I wasn't that keen on Series 3. This was a little better, but not much so. I really loved the first two series. I found myself getting sick of the Kami character. If you've not seen The Bear, it is worth checking out, but maybe, I don't know how it's panning out here. Bit of comedy. So Alan Alda made a film called The Four Seasons back in 1981. Basically, 4 couples set across 4 different seasons going to different locations. And this is written by Tina Fey. She's in the cast as always. Steve Carell, Common Domingo. Really good, really funny adult comedy. Enjoyed this. 8 episodes long. It's kind of half-hour episodes. Really good. Worth checking out. Squid Game Season 3. So like a lot of people, I didn't think Season 2 was as good, but it was solid enough. It gave me enough impetus to go to Season 3. I thought Season 3 was very good. It tied it up really well. A kind of bleaker look at human nature than the previous 2 seasons. If you've not watched Squid Game, then it's a perfect time to binge the whole lot, because it really is top. I went back to 2017 to watch a show called Bloodline. I was looking for something to watch. This has got Ben Mendelsohn in it, Kyle Chandler, Linda Cardinelli. I enjoyed the first 2 series of this. Like a lot of shows, it tailed off in the 3rd series. It wrapped things up, but it's just felt a bit messy. But before that, it was a decent thriller. Then 1923, so I've watched the other Yellowstone series. So this, it's got Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren in it, in top form. Forgetting the name of the actor who plays the character of Spencer Dutton, but he's destined to be an ultimate romantic hero. He's the ultimate man, and his sidekick Alexandra, the character of Alexandra, Alex, is really good as well. Again, it shows the harshness of the life up in Montana. It's quite spread out for a bit. It doesn't all converge till later on, but it is good. A good addition to the Yellowstone canon. Then I watched Dexter Original Sin. This is a prequel to Dexter. It's got a young Irish actor in it who's really good, playing a young Dexter, just starting out in Miami PD. They've done a really good job of casting the characters we know were younger actors. Love the girl playing Deb. She's really funny. Kristen Slater plays the dad. Obviously it's James Remar in the future Dexters. But enjoyed this, actually. It worked really well. And I liked it more than the recent Dexter reboots, which I watched. Dexter Resurrection. He goes to New York in this. Again, it's Dexter. It's still a lot of fun. Peter Dinklage is in it, and Uma Thurman. So although not hitting the highs of classic Dexter, if you like the Dexter character, it's still enjoyable. He's a pretty easy watch for me. Then I watched Mobland on Paramount with Pierce Brosnan and Helen Mirren hamming it up. Strange show. You've kind of got them hamming it up in a mob comedy, and then you've got this kind of serious, gritty mob drama. Tom Hardy's very good in it. I did enjoy him in this, and enjoyed the show. Like I said, it was just a bit of a mishmash. Finally on Paramount, finally got around to watching The Offer. This had passed me by because we didn't have Paramount back in 2022 when it came out. This is about the making of The Godfather. Massive Godfather fan myself, so I really enjoyed seeing all the characters brought to life in this. And recreations, not of scenes, but sets and so on. This was good. It was a good look at movie making. Great performance by Matthew Good as the film exec, Robert Evans, legendary film executive. Moving on to Sky via Now TV, Gangs of London Series 3. Now, a lot of people were disappointed with this. I thought it was okay, but I've never seen the Gangs of London as the pinnacle of television. For me, it's just daft violence and the characters are all right. So this just carried on business as normal in a way. There's a bit where a pregnant woman has to escape people. I'll not describe what happens, but it's worth watching it for that alone. Moving on to BBC One, a really good show called This City Is Ours. If you should have saw Kin, which was set with Irish gangsters. This is like Liverpudlian northern gangsters. James Nelson Joyce, really good up and coming star in this. Slow burn, took a couple of episodes to get going, but it paid off, and I thought it was one of the best things with the BBC in recent times, as was the second series of The Gold, which I also watched, which picked up from the first one and carrying on trying to catch the Brinks Max robbers. Really good, managed to spread it out more, great acting by the cast, a lot of good humour, and a satisfying conclusion. Then on Sky Atlantic, again via Now TV, decided to watch a show from a couple of years ago called The Outsider. This is based on a Stephen King novel, and it starred Ben Mendelsohn. I quite enjoyed this. It didn't all work, but it's kind of a detective drama with a supernatural serial killer element. But it's worth checking out if you like Stephen King and into that kind of thing. Which brings me on to movies. I went to see the adaptation of The Long Walk the other day at the cinema. This is really good. I like the trailer for this, and the film paid off. Really good acting in it, and just pretty grim, pretty bleak, dystopian outlook. It's well worth checking out. You'll probably come and go to the cinema, but you can check it out on streaming. I saw the climax to the recent 28 Years Later, which I thought was good, but kind of a bit of a mad ending. I'm not sure where this is heading. It was certainly better than 28 Weeks Later, but 28 Days Later still. The pièce de resistance, but some cool camera work in it. I actually found out they built a massive rig with mobile phones, iPhones, which of course are 4K, to do a weird sort of version of the Matrix, slow-mo capture thing, which I think you can see when they kill zombies in it. So there's some cool visuals in it. Also watched Jurassic World Reborn. Just more of the same. Save your money, just watch it on streaming. It's not adding anything to it. About the best you can say about it. It was better than the last Jurassic Park film, which was absolutely terrible, and probably equaling the second Jurassic World film. So Jurassic World, I should say. The sort of bottoms, not falling out of these, but it will do eventually. Bring Her Back, an excellent horror film from the director of Talk to Me. Again, this came and went at the cinema, but check it out on streaming. I would say go to the Blockbuster, but that doesn't exist anymore. But a really good horror film with great performance by Sally Hawkins. And then another great, is it a horror film? I'm not sure, Weapons. Maybe one of the films of the year. This is certainly a big talking point. If you've not seen Weapons, check it out. Hard to describe it really, but it's generally sort of chilling, unsettling, and in the end very funny. And the director who did Barbarians, just done a really good job of pulling disparate storylines together. Very good performances in this from his four principal leads, Amy Madigan in particular. So check it out. And you'll see my anniversary review, 11 people did, of Jaws. I went to see it actually on the big screen. Still a classic. Interestingly enough, watching it again, I found it a little slow in the second half. It has that slow build. But I found the bits of the boat slower than I expected, and I was kind of thought, actually, this could probably have like 5 or 10 minutes trimmed. It's interesting to watch it in 4K and with the sound and everything really precisely done. Robert Shaw still a standout with his performance. Okay, so that's kind of covering like cinema things, and let's just have a look at films I watched on streaming. If you're looking for 3, retro things to watch, I watched Thief, Michael Mann's debut film on Prime. If you've not seen Thief before, check it out. It's an excellent forerunner to Manhunt, particularly Heat, with a great performance by James Caan. Really good debut film. Brian De Palma's Blowout and Brian De Palma's Body Double. Blowout was on Prime. Body Double's actually on Talking TV. If you're a De Palma fan, a fan of kind of his take on cinema, Blowout in particular is an excellent conspiracy thriller. Body Double's a bit mad, but I saw it on video rental about 40 years ago. Went over to ITV4, hadn't seen Bullet in years, Steve McQueen's classic film. And it was one of those pleasurable experiences where it was probably the best I've ever seen it. Thinking back to my Jaws at the cinema, I really enjoyed it, but I wouldn't say it was my best experience with Jaws. It was an interesting experience. But watching Bullet again, it was like, this is the best the film's ever felt to me. So you've not seen Bullet before, check it out. Aside from the car chase, it's just got a great feel about it, and McQueen's sort of it's a procedural cop thriller really, and it kind of follows his everyday life as well. Very good. Then a real pleasant surprise on Prime was a film called Heads of State. This was a comedy with John Cena, Idris Elba and Priyanka Chopra, with Jack Quaid in it as well. And I wasn't expecting much. I just thought this is going to be one of these straight to streaming things. But this is from the director of Nobody, and this was really good. It had great over-the-top action sequences. The chemistry between the two main leads was great. And when Priyanka Chopra came, I was pleasantly surprised because she was really good and added it to the dynamic. And Jack Quaid, a little cameo, was really good. Fun action, really good script. Daft, but really well done, and I would easily give it a solid 7 out of 10, maybe an 8. And this is the kind of film years ago would have gone straight to the cinema, and would have got good word of mouth and would have shown good legs. So check it out, Heads of State. Another film on Prime is a film called The Captain. This is about a guy, a soldier, German soldier in World War II, who's a deserter, and then he finds a dead captain. German captain, maybe he's SS, and he poses as him. It's based on a true story, and he ends up at a kind of prison of a camp for desert soldiers and commits atrocities. Really weird, sort of stranger than fiction story. Absolutely revels in his position of power. It's from the director of Flight Plan, one of the Divergent films. So obviously gone back to. Sorry, I've just got something in my eye. Apologies. He's obviously gone back to Germany to make this. It's in black and white, and it's just really effective. Works very well. Then there was Heretic on Prime, which was the Hugh Grant kind of psychological horror thriller, where the two girls go to his house to sell religious literature. This is good. It's not great, but Hugh Grant gives an excellent performance. He really is having the Indian summer of his life. And then another film called Blame on Prime. This is a teen drama. I quite like my teen dramas, and this was good. It's about two girls at school, antagonism between them. The director of this did another film, and the name escapes me. But anyway, she's a young filmmaker. She actually stars in this film, and she's good. It's a good film. The acting's good. Worth checking out. That's Blame on Prime. And then a film, strange sci-fi horror called Vivarium. This has been on the list for a while. I thought I'm going to check this out. Stars Jesse Eisenberg and Imogen Poots. Hard to describe this. They drive to look at a house on a new build estate with a prospective, buying it, and they get stuck there on this infinite estate. I'll not explain what happens. It's got bizarre visuals. It's quite disturbing in the end. It's not for everyone. I've got friends who've seen it, weren't into it, but I did like it. I thought it was interesting. Again, this is the sort of film, it's going straight to streaming. Back in days of the old, it would have gone to the cinema. Probably not done that well, but kind of developed a cult following. This is the problem with streaming. How do you get the cultural thrust to do that? Okay, and then Strange Darling on Sky Cinema. So this is a film I've been looking forward to for a while. This is a weird horror thriller. Actually, the cinematography is done by the actor Giovanni Ribisi, and it's shot on, I think, probably 35mm stock, not digital, as they were keen to point out. Really good central performance from the main lead in this. It's got a 6-chapter structure that again is told in non-chronological order, quite Tarantino-esque of course, as are the visuals, but it comes together really well. It's got quite a haunting ending. The maker of this is definitely one to watch, another good low-budget horror film. And then a crap film on Netflix which promised much, was just Havoc with Tom Hardy. This is from the director of The Raid, the creator of Gangs of London. This just doesn't work. It's full of cliches. Although it's got some physical action, there's a lot of CGI in it. Again, the world of streaming just doesn't deliver quality when it should, and this just real disappointment, because I enjoyed his other film Apostle, which is on Netflix. Okay, and just finally we'll look at documentaries. BBC One, Heston Blumenthal documentary. Of course, he had a bad episode of bipolar for his whole life and had to be sectioned. This is really interesting. It has a little kind of dramatic enactments featuring Heston, describing how he feels, how he felt, and at the end he has a really interesting meeting with his son. and it sort of looks at the, you know, what this illness can do. Interesting, yeah, very interesting reflection on that. Then on Netflix there was the Fred West documentary. Worth checking out this because we see loads of Fred West memes with him and Rosemary Mest as a comic fashion, and we forget that these depraved people who murdered young women, murdered teenagers, murdered their own daughter. Absolutely weird, horrible, and you know, you need to watch this to remind yourself of that and get away from the kind of Facebook meme thing. The Grenfell Tower documentary on Netflix is one I hope people watch. All I tell you about this, the cost of having better cladding was £40 per flat, per area. So for £5,000, they put on the cladding that ignited. I'll not go into it. You need to watch the documentary to find how that happened. This is a classic example, I think, but when the inquiry comes through, blame will be pointed in lots of different directions. An inquiry has kind of come through, but it'll be hard to say whose fault it was. But this is to do with housing and how housing's treated, how social housing's treated in our country. But check it out. A couple of good music documentaries. Luther Vandross on Sky Arts, one of the great sort of backing singers, session backing singers, who became an artist in his own right. Really good, obviously great singer, struggled with his weight, which is quite interesting. And also, although it doesn't say that he was gay, I think he probably was and hid his sexuality. So there's some interesting things there. Good documentary. And then Mr. Jimmy, this is a documentary about a Japanese guitarist who worships Jimmy Page. He plays guitar, he copies his outfits from different eras, he copies every solo riff exactly, even to the point of looking at live archive footage and bootlegs and copying those and reproducing bootleg solos rather than the vinyl recorded ones on the night. It follows his journey doing it in Japan. He goes to the US to join a Led Zeppelin tribute band, and his exacting nature can be challenging, let's put it that way, but it's got an interesting finish. What I find most interesting about this, he's a repertoirist. This is a guy who hasn't any creativity in the sense of his guitar. His ability is to reproduce Jimmy Page. It's like a lot of people can reproduce Van Halen brilliantly, and you'll see more of this when guitarists pass away or don't do stuff anymore. Other musicians, you'll get people who reproduce a repertoire, recreate it, and that will keep it alive in a live sense. But these people won't creatively add anything to the journey of that instrument apart from like I say, repertoiring. Okay, thanks for checking out that. I'll see you again soon, and remember to share and subscribe. Thanks.